Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sue Morter from Morter Institute, where we are bridging science and spirituality and redefining human potential. I'd like to share with you today that there is a secret that has been hidden from you. There is a hidden truth that has been operating behind the scenes in your life, and it is time for it to be revealed. And it is my great joy to bring information forward to you based upon a recent trip to the south of France, where we were taking a Mary Magdalene tour, and we were visiting many basilicas and cathedrals, etc., and recognizing things that I had never seen before, even though I had been there just 7 years prior. Now, 7 years ago, I was visiting many of these churches and basilicas in the south of France, and what I saw was a beautiful cathedral and a beautiful sacred place of worship for those that would choose to go there. And just recently, as I returned to these same places, one church in particular, I began to recognize instantly that there were symbologies embedded into the architecture, that there was in the space of these divine presences, the statues that were representing the various saints and sages, etc., that there was also another language being revealed that was hidden in plain sight. It was right there, available for those who are ready to see it. And it was glaringly moving forward in my perception beyond words, beyond an ability to describe. And it was such a testament to the circuits that I had been building over the past 7 years, day by day, day in, day out, to then 7 years later be standing in a place and have a vibration that had been raised enough that I was literally seeing a different language being shared. I was seeing an entirely different reality. There was an instruction manual literally hidden in the architecture and the placement of these statues, etc. The symbology was overwhelming. I began sharing it with the people that were on the tour, and as a byproduct of that, we began discussing the rest of who we are and recognizing that no matter how much effort has ever been put in allowing the mind to override the heart, and for people sometimes to be overriding other people in the same sort of manner, the truth will always surface. It will eventually rise to the surface again, and we are blessed that now is a time when that truth is revealing. This deep truth of who we are and how to access this deep truth of who we are and how to surface it to the surface of our lives in a greater sense of power is actually being revealed by a greater sense of love. And so what I created since the visit to the south of France was a culmination of images and photographs and the recognition of the stories and the history, and a translation of those stories and historical points that actually serves us in a case of embodiment, an ability for us to recognize that we too have the power to do what we have kind of been taught was only left to a few a long time ago. And so the reenactment, the rekindling, the re-enlivenment, and the reactivation of these same truths is surfacing now. And we are going to be providing a program for you to dive into these very practices and these very techniques and these understandings that were being utilized by the people thousands of years ago to allow them to access a higher state of consciousness. And it was through the embodiment of a greater vibrational frequency of love in the body, not just a concept, not just a sentiment, but rather a literal vibrational reality that is ours for the animation. And these were the practices of a culture thousands of years ago called the Essene community. And the Essenes were living in the outskirts of town. They were living inside of the laws of nature and inside of the laws of the cosmos. And they were keeping alive a deeper truth that had been passed forward from the practices of ancient India and the practices of ancient Egypt, and combining them as well through the theories and principles and philosophies that were coming from ancient Greece. And they were gathering together and being practiced as a way of living in the Essene communities. It wasn't a separate moment that they decided to meditate and to work with the energies of their system. It was there as a way of living. And Mary Magdalene was a part of that community, and Jesus and Mother Mary and Joseph and so many of those that were in the origins of this deep spiritual practice, which became religion. But this is not a religious course. It is a course in reminding you how to tap into those deep spiritual practices that keep you connected to the divine, that keep you connected to the invisible realm that is the source from which all matter, all material world, all life forms springs forth. And we're going to be practicing how to animate, how to connect with all of these forces in a deeper way than we ever have before inside of this program called Embodying This Greater Love. And it is the practices that we will be bringing forward. And so inside of the program itself, we will have techniques, we will have meditations, we will have circuit building practices, and we will be harnessing this greater power. And we will be leveraging the power of the group coming together simultaneously to reflect it in a quantum sense back to each of us as we engage in these practices as a group around the world collectively. So I'm so looking forward to the program rolling out and for us to come together and begin the remembrance of this, the activation of these circuits in a way that allows us to animate the soulful self, to animate the true self, and truly to activate the divinity within our own humanity. And what that means is our full potential begins to awaken and emerge in a way that it hasn't before. And a byproduct of that is we heal, we become highly creative, we become certainly grounded in the great remembrance that we've actually had it all along. It isn't something that we have to go out and find in order to complete us, that our wholeness is here, ready to be awakened. As we learn inside of the energy codes practices always, we are building internal circuits to be able to animate the deep core wisdom, the deep inherent truths that we are made of. And I know that this course will bring this forward in an even greater and enhanced manner. And so now within this entire month of love, we are truly going to be focused on embodying a greater version of love. And again, I want to say, this isn't the Hallmark card love. It's not the Hollywood love. It is not the sentimental love that we might think of, although those come from this energy that we will be honing and refining and activating and magnifying within ourselves. And so I so look forward. I do hope that you'll join us inside of this program. It is one of a kind, the first time that I have ever taught this, and I am thrilled to be bringing it forward to you. So join us for embodying a greater love. Blessings to you all, and I'll see you there.